So welcome. We start every class. There's a sort of a formal bow in, bow out. It's really just sort of to signify either welcome. We are together. We are equal. So I will go ahead and bow in. You make a soft fist with your right hand, and kind of like almost a rock paper scissors. So you can either leave your fingers up, or some people just go ahead and relax the fingers. The key point is you want to take your thumb and make sure that the thumb is tucked under. What has been conveyed to me is if the thumb is sticking up, that is a challenge, saying I'm better than you. So you need to keep the thumb down, and that says we are equal. And then a little bow from the waist, and just sort of turn the palms to face outward a bit. And welcome to perhaps your very first virtual Tai Chi class. The fingers are going to point down, and the wrists float up as though I feel like strings, marionette strings, are just pulling my wrists up. I'm going to leave the shoulders in their sockets. The fingers draw down towards the floor. And then the second part of this, we're going to drop the elbows. Well, first we're going to float the fingers so that they're parallel to the floor. This is like 1.5. And then 2, we're going to drop the elbows, and the wrists come back towards my shoulders, but it's not super tight, right? I'm not drawing it all the way back in here. I just come up, flatten, and then here. Right as you get to about this position, then you're going to pull your elbows down and back, and the fingers are going to float up, again flexing the wrists. And now allowing the hands to like they're traveling down a wall, and then they're going to come back down my sides. So it's 1, 1.5, 2, 3, and 4. We'll do it a few times. 1, 1.5, 2, 3, and 4. This either feels, if you want to feel a pulling up sensation, like strings are pulling up your wrists. Some people like to feel that there's like bubbles or a helium balloon coming up under your hand, so you're floating the wrists up. And then this is just a relaxation. Pulling the elbows down pulls the wrist towards the shoulder. And then this feels very round. So you want to feel like your hands go around a big log. And we flex the wrists, and then your hands go down a wall. 1, 1.5, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 1.5, 2, 3, and 4. Good, relax. In the form, we only do that one time, but that is just a really nice set that you can just do repetitively over and over again. There's an optional, like very small sink and rise. I don't encourage people to try to do it. If it just starts feeling that way, generally if you try to do it, it winds up being too big, too much. But you may see that as I'm doing it, the rise and fall, it really comes from kind of like in here more than coming in and out of the knees. So it's just sort of like here, I just feel like I'm expanding and then relaxing, and there's a sinking feeling here. And then there's this little bit of sense of lifting back up. But again, I warn not trying to do it because it'll wind up just being too much. Any questions on that so far? I will guide you along. There's a lot of bad habits that are very easy to form. I've been teaching for a very long time. I see, there's a natural tendency. Here's the most popular bad habit that I want you to not develop. So we'll work on some of those. In the beginning, sort of the stages that we go through is, trying to, first drink from a fire hose. We have all these principles we want to keep in mind. Some of them are for safety. So making sure the knees are tracking over the toes. That's going to help protect your knees. So one of the tendencies here is, okay, yeah, I'm gonna sink down, and then I'm gonna put my heel out. So first bad habit not to do is to stretch out the leg and put the heel out so far that you have to shift weight into it. So we just want to relax. Ideally, over time, we want to get that heel out further, but that's going to come because you're comfortable sinking lower, which takes thigh strength and flexibility. So that's what we're working towards. In the beginning, rather than getting that optimum shoulder width, I'd rather see you do this comfortably and really get that weightless step. That weightless step is really what's going to start contributing to your balance. So letting that heel go out and find the floor, you know, wherever it finds, wherever it's comfortable. You notice there's a little bit of a bend still in my knee. And then there's a tendency here to shift the weight and turn at the same time. And then it becomes very hard to fully turn the foot because you've already put weight in it. So now you wind up with your toe still sticking out to the corner. So in this particular movement, this will not change. We send the heel out with absolutely no weight. This is just a feather touch. And then as we turn the waist, you leave your heel just barely touching the floor. So that when you're here, you should still be able to lift this foot up. The tendency to put a little bit of weight into this foot. You can, but you're cheating yourself out of the balance. So then we're gonna fully sit down on that left foot. And again, now all of the weight needs to be out of your right foot. And the heel is barely touching the floor. So that as I turn my waist, I'm gonna not put any weight in this leg. I'm gonna keep all my weight in the left leg. And this remains weightless. Then we shift back to 50-50. So keeping that very broken down, I mean, it seems like it should be a simple movement, but there's a lot going on. And then also trying to maintain that nice upright spine. There's also a tendency to do this. So we wind up going this way. So we want to keep the waist gliding over and the spine upright. You may not see, if I do this, I can get my heel out further, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to keep upright. And it's okay to not have that heel go out a true shoulder width in the beginning. And then making sure here, keeping that weightless foot, and then go back to 50-50. So just working on that will help increase your balance really rapidly. So thank you so much. Go forth and practice and practice what we learned today, and I will see you next week. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys.